Hello chess fans, this is Rick from Chess to Impress with number 70 in the series Viewers Games. And we're going to look at Gill's game. Gill writes, my birthday is this Thursday, August 23rd, I'll be 57. And if it is in your will to push my Viewers game to this Sunday, that would be awesome. But if you stick to your first in-line approach, I completely understand. I get asked this question sometimes from viewers, can you not push my game to the top of the queue? And I usually say no. I'm using the first come first serve approach, but you have to know when to make an exception. And Gill has been such a wonderful supporter of the Chess to Impress channel and Chess to Progress when I still had it, that I'm going to make an exception. Gill watches all the videos, always has a nice comment to make, always something supportive and positive and encouraging. He supports the channel in word and in deed. He has promoted the channels on his Facebook page and has also shown his support through a PayPal donation, which enabled me to buy new editing software for my videos, which have, I think, improved the quality. So Gill, you are a wonderful supporter of my channel, and I'm happy to move your game to the top of the queue, and happy birthday to you! And my greetings to Susie as well. Let's go to Gill's game. He says, hey Rick, the 119th US Open has completed. I scored 3 draws, 1 win and 5 losses. Gill played this tournament in early August 2018. A lot of great competition. Our hometown hero Awonder Liang finished 8th. Grandmaster Andrew Tang finished 6th. My opponent was rated FIDE rating 1450. I am only 1005. I think only because I have just gotten back into competitive chess and suffered a couple losses in my first tournament. I think I play a couple 100 points above my current rating based on my competition this weekend. I played 3 games against players who were over 1800. This is only my 3rd tournament getting back into the game. I had the white pieces against a man my age named Adam. My Stockfish engine showed me plenty of alternative moves during the game where I could have done better, but I guess that's the learning process. It is indeed Gill. Let's have a look at your game. You opened e4. Gill is a proud USA citizen and he follows Bobby Fischer's principle. e4 is best by test. His opponent Adam plays the French defense with e6, d4, d5, e5, the advanced variation, and then c5. Knight f3 played by Gill is the 2nd most popular move. I will show you the tabia for this opening. The main move is c3, and then knight c6, knight f3, and queen b6. a3, c4, I just show you the first 10 moves of this tabia. Knight goes to d2, knight a5 is played, bishop e2, bishop d7, then white castles, and black develops the knight, rook b1, and then either queen c7 or h6. That's the main line of this opening. But as said, Gill chose the 2nd most popular line with knight f3. Knight c6, and now Gill with c3 can go back into this main line, and bishop d3 is another move played by a number of grandmasters in my database, but Gill chooses bishop b5. Black cannot win a piece with queen a5 check. It looks like a double attack. Check and attacking the bishop, because knight c3 solves both problems in one go. It shields the check and protects the bishop. Black played bishop d7, bishop e3 from Gill, a6, and the bishop took on c6. Bishop takes back, and here the engine likes the pawn grab, d takes d5, quite greedy, and understandable that Gill did not go for it, but the engine likes it. Engines though tend to be quite materialistic. Gill decided to castle, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Bishop e7, and now the engine really likes to take that pawn. But Gill very wisely decides to complete his development before thinking about grabbing pawns. He plays knight c3. Knight h6 and h3. Gill wants to keep the knight out of g4, but that knight did not really want to go to g4, it wanted to go to f5. And that's why h3 is an inaccurate move. Knight f5 was played indeed. Gill plays queen d2 and black takes the bishop. Queen takes and b6. Gill played the knight back to e2, bishop b5, a4, kicking that bishop, and black plays an in-between move, takes on d4, attacking the queen. Gill took that pawn, bishop takes, queen takes, quite a few pieces come off the board, and rook c8. That leaves another pawn en prise, and this time Gill takes it. Castling would have been a good alternative for black, not looking at losing that pawn on a6. But rook c8 was played, Gill took the pawn, thank you very much, pawn in the bag, and now did black castle. c3, bishop c5, here rook fd1 makes a lot of sense, getting the rook centralized, but Gill goes for b4, hitting the bishop. Here bishop e7 can be played, and then Gill has to bring his queen back into his own camp, and then a move like queen c7 hitting both pawns is a good way to play for black. But black decided to take on d4. C takes, and we have now a heavy piece ending with an extra pawn for white. All minor pieces have been exchanged. Rook c4, good move from black, attacking d4 and b4, cutting off the queen from a safe return home as well. Here rook fb1 is a good move, probably the best move. Then black can take that pawn, but then a5, and this is better for white. Black has won his pawn back, but white's extra pawn on the queen side is better supported than black's trump card, which is the d5 pawn. This pawn is more dangerous than black's pawn. But Gill goes for a5, and now black can choose which pawn he takes. And rook takes d4 is a bad move, because now white pawns on the queen side become very dangerous, and black's pieces are not set up to deal with these pawns. So black made the right choice to take the b pawn. A takes b6, and rook takes b6. To me, queen takes b6 feels more natural, bringing the queen into the game, keeping d4 attacked, and give rook f8 a chance to get to the party as well. Taking with the queen is more natural. Not that rook takes b6 is a bad move, but queen takes b6 makes more sense. Gill had to retreat the queen back in the safety of his own camp. Rook c6, and here rook fc1 is the most natural move to make sure all pieces play, all the pieces want to be at the party, they all want to be in the game. Gill plays the other rook, keeping this one at home for the moment. Rook back to b6, and rook b1. Rook c6, and rook bc1. Gill seems to be happy with a draw in this even position. Adam wants to play on some more, and plays queen c7. Gill swaps the rooks, and plays f4. Good move. Rook d8. That's a strange move. It doesn't ruin anything in this very much simplified and even position, but what is this rook doing on the d-file? And here I come to the principle of talking to your pieces, asking your pieces where they want to go. And if you talk to that rook on f8, he will not tell you that he wants to be on d8, behind an immovable pawn. Gill plays f5, complicates the position, brings some tension, some pawn tension there. And queen c4. This must have been Adam's idea behind rook d8 to try and seduce Gill to swap queens here. And after queen takes, d takes, then it does make sense to have the rook on d8, hitting this backward pawn. Gill doesn't swap the queens, he plays queen e3, leaving that rook on d8 being silly there. And here, what black should have done is really take on f5. Rook takes f5. This is fine according to the engine, but already a bit uncomfortable for black. And black decides to put that rook back on f8. He was not clear what to do here. And Gill keeps going forward, f6, and has now a much better position. Here you really have to take on f6, and then rook takes is the best move. E takes looks very good as well, but then black has queen c2 as a way to defend his king. Queen g5 check, threatening checkmate on g7. but then black still has queen g6 and is still alive. So after g takes f6, the taking with the rook is the best way to play. You cannot play g6, of course, that leads to a forced checkmate, queen h6, and you have one spy check, king h1, and there's nothing you can do against checkmate on g7. Now, what did black play? He's already in trouble. He really has to take on f6, but he played another rook move, this time to a better file, but also the losing mistake because of a tactical flaw. He's finally activating the rook, but now that rook is not joining the party, but more like fleeing the sinking ship. Gill now finds the move that wins on the spot, and that move is queen g5. Here black saw what he had done and resigned. The checkmate threat is queen takes g7 again. King f8 is the only way to avoid checkmate, but then queen takes g7 check, king e8 only move, and through a skewer Gill wins that poor rook that made so many unfortunate moves. And this is just an extra rook for white. Nice game from Gill. Black avoided the move repetition, wanted to play on, but then made some very passive moves with his rook. Gill pushed the f-pawn, brought the queen into action, and won this game in a very nice way. Well done, Gill, and again, happy birthday to you, and greetings to Susie. Hope you enjoyed Gill's game. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, please subscribe to the Chess to Impress channel, and please leave a comment. If you like the video, it would be great if you could share it on social media. This is Rick for Chess to Impress. Thank you for watching.